Okay, let's see. Let me go ahead and turn off some of that music real quick. And we'll just go ahead and turn that off. All right. Welcome, everyone, to another GameDevHQ stream. This is Al over here. And today we're going to have some fun with guns. Something I've been wanting to do for quite some time is I was talking to one of my artists, and he even mentioned, okay, so in Filebase, which we had this crazy bug. I don't know what it was yesterday, but Filebase went down. It had nothing to do with Filebase. It had everything to do with our web host, and we kept reaching out to them over and over again. Hey, what's going on? What is happening? Where is this going? Yada, yada, yada. Nothing, 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 nothing. And then all of a sudden, boom, it works again. Oh, so frustrating. All right. Okay, so if we're on a Filebase, and most of you guys, you've been here before. You know what Filebase is. If you don't, Filebase is a entire system that we built, posting assets that we created or we outsourced to a variety of amazing artists at GameDevHQ.com. Which, oh my God, it's doing it again. Look at that. I was just on here earlier today, and now it's giving me crap. Okay, where do I delete the cache? Oh, Windows. More tool settings. Let me see. Where's the erase cache button? It works on Edge. Yeah, I had to delete my cookies and I had to delete my cache, and then all of a sudden it was working again. So now I just need to figure out where the heck the cookies and cache are in here. Clear cookies and cache. All right, let's clear all that out. Maybe this will fix this. And then let's create a new window. Oh my gosh. GameDevHQ. I don't know what the heck's up now, guys. This host is absolutely killing me right now. Absolutely killing me. Yeah, we were dorking around with this all day today. Let's see. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. Oh man, I don't know what is going on. Oh my gosh. It's incredible. We're looking into it. I know it's kind of a pain in the butt for some folks. For everyone, in fact, I don't even know what to say at this point because it's irritating me at this point. Um, but fortunately for me, this one I don't need a lot of assets for, and I'm just going to be able to log on and grab one asset. I let's see. So, bear with me, guys. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but something's up with it. Again, it's not our file base. It has everything to do with our website and our web hosting, and we don't understand what it is, but something altered, something changed. Um, so in here, what I did earlier today was I downloaded an asset because I was afraid something bad was going to happen. Um, but then, on our file base, we have a ton of guns. I wish they were all accessible right now, but we have a ton of guns. And some are more sniper oriented, some are machine guns, shotguns, handguns, assault rifles. We even have a minigun. We kind of picked some of the more popular ones that we knew that we would like. So I wanted to pick a handgun today, and we were going to toy around with some animations. So just out of curiosity, I'm going to see if I can actually download. And yeah, I mean, it downloads here. I don't understand why, but it works. Again, it's something with the website itself, which we will iron out. We will figure out and get that working. So, um, bear with us, please. And we've got another alternative solution that's coming because the web hosting and the crashes that we're getting, it's getting to the point where it's unbearable for us, where we're getting really peeved off about it. Okay, so what I wanted to do today was actually get this set up so that we could take a gun into our scene. Let's say this FBX. We'll drop it into our environment. And let's take a look at this material. What is going on? Do I need to edit? All right, this is interesting. Oh, I'm probably missing a material. Ah, there we go. Hit that. FBX material. Oh, there's 3 material slots on this. But I only have 1 material. All right, so just drop that in. And that cleared that up. Yeah, no, you're totally right, John. Like half of the time I'm getting a bad FO3 503 error, but we've reached out to our renderer, or not our renderer. We reached out to hosting. We've said, "Hey, what's the deal? Why is this thing acting horrible?" I haven't heard anything back from them. Um, so I mean, it's getting old. I apologize. I don't know why I'm apologizing for them, but I apologize if it's causing a problem. It's just it's irritating us 100%, and it's a joke at this point. It's so infuriating. I just want to make some pretty things on here, and we had this whole system working beautifully, and all of a sudden, it just doesn't work. We don't understand. All right. um, so when it's finally back on, it's a little more stable. We'll let you guys know. We're trying to keep an eye on it to see what's happening. Reach out to hosting some more. Check on everything else. But yeah, like I tested it today. Even testing it right now on Safari after I cleared everything out. I was able to load on. And last night I was able to load on to this PC, but then today I can't. I just don't understand. Um, so, all right. Enough about that. We know it's a problem. Okay, so we got our gun into scene. Pretty nice looking model. And in fact, a lot of our guns look this way. They're really polished. They really look good. They're really clean. What would be kind of cool in this situation is that we press play and we hit the left mouse button and it does this cool animation where the bolt goes back, the trigger goes down, we get a muzzle flash, we get a light burst, we get smoke, and we get a shell casing popping out on the side, wherever it would be. So it would be cool to have it do all of that simultaneously, even play an audio track. And we get this cool looking animation. So, what are some of the things that we're probably going to need? Um, and then how are we going to set this up? We'll write a really simple script, and the script is going to basically play an animation. And that animation is going to have events on it, and those events are going to trigger different things to happen. And so when we do a play animation, play trigger, boom, everything's going to happen all at one time, and we're done. And it keeps life easy and simple for us. So we have our model. What if we were thinking in advance? We knew that we had a gun position, right? And so I'm going to just call this gun position. And is it the right side for the shell? Okay. That would probably make sense because it would suck if the shell hit you in the face, unless you're left-handed. Um, so I'm going to stick this gun position, and you can switch between center and pivot. Um, and so I'll put my gun position right around here, and I'll be able to float kind of like my model inside of that to kind of fit it into a hand. Um, and then this will be what I attach to wherever my hand position would be. Or if I'm going to have my hands connect using the IK system, they would connect to this gun position or something of a child of. So these would always be a child of. And we got the rest from here. Okay, so I'm going to create a script. So go to C# script and gun, fire, pistol. And I'm going to drop this onto here. Let's see. I'm going to drop my gunfire pistol script onto here, and it's just a start script. And in here, I'll just double click real quick. Let's load up Visual Studio. Scripting is not my thing, but we do what we do. We do what we have to do, right? We make it work. Come on, Visual Studio. We know you can do this. Boom, boom, ba-dum, boom. Okay. It's taking some time to think. While that is happening, another thing we could start downloading is we're going to want the smoke. Now, we could create a PNG, but there's a lot of great smoke resources out there. And one of the ones that I go to a lot is actually one provided by Unity. Unity sprite sheets free, and I believe it wasn't called a sprite sheet. It was called a not tile set flip book. Okay, right here. So I'll copy this link into your guys' directory in the chat. Okay, so this is a great link to get free image sequences on a flipbook. And they're under Creative Commons license. I would have had them up on Filebase today, but, it happens. But you could see they did like sequences to kind of show you what they got. These are nice little clouds. They are far higher quality. In the actual download, but you can see you can get free explosions right here. So this would be like a great space shooter explosion. This is a great regular explosion, let's say on the ground. This is like a nice light daylight explosion right here. There's no fire. There's a bunch of different options on here. Fireballs, flames, a really great resource, wispy smoke, things like that. So I'm actually going to download one of these wispy smokes. I'm I don't know which one is probably going to look best, but I believe I downloaded this one, which is Wispy Smoke 01. And this is kind of like the dust that occurs. It's just kind of like pops up. So I'm going to go show this in the folder, and I'll extract all. And we got a Targa and a TGA, EXR and a TGA. I think I'm just going to import the TGA. And you'll see this like 8x8. So we'll leave this down here. So again, I left it in the blog. Hello, Vlad. Family's doing good. I'm doing good. GDHQ's website, not so much, but we can't do anything about. I can't do anything about that right now. We tried working on it last night. It's a hosting issue. It's a pain in the butt. I don't know what to do. Okay. So in here, we are going to look for a input. So if input dot get key code dot mouse 0, which would be the left mouse button. Then we're going to debug.log shoot gun. A real simple script, and this is just going to get us started. We'll drop that on here, make sure the console's over, hit play, and if we hit the left mouse button, we shoot our gun with our left mouse. So that's good. I'm going to actually move my camera probably right around here and kind of zoom in and get set up like that. Yeah, you heard about the issue too. Yeah, I don't know what it is, man. It's kind of annoying. All right, so we have this able to register us clicking our mouse button. Now, what we're going to do is we actually want this to play an animation when we press our mouse button down. So in here, I want to create a animation, and I'm going to call this gun fire. And we could have a whole bunch of these. Actually, I should probably create a folder. Gun animation, and then scripts. So I'll drop the script into here, and I'll do the gunfire animation right in here. And then I'm going to take this gunfire animation, and I'm going to drop it onto my model. So we're missing a script here. Where did it go? Oh, I moved the script. Oops. There. That's it. I'm going to drop my gunfire right here. Okay. And now it's going to create this controller based on the model name. So now I have this all set up and ready to go. So how do I play with animations? It's real easy. You just go down here, and we have this gun animation. And what we're going to do is we're going to select certain parts of this model to actually play back an animated sequence. So I'm going to select my model, and I'm going to hit the record button. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I want to maybe do a little adjustment of movement to get the keyframe locked in. And then I'm going to copy this keyframe and place this like 1/10 of a second ahead. And then this is actually going to cock back just a little bit. So that's what it kind of looks like. And I think I could turn off loop mode. Can I turn off looping in this playback? I don't know if I can. But we kind of get the idea. I think it's probably going to cock faster back. So bam, 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 bam. And we can even go into the curves and adjust our curves a little bit. So like we can adjust this, something like that. So it's like a sharp movement back. And we can go into our timelines, or I'm sorry, into our dope sheet and adjust our timeline even more. So it's a little slower of a movement or whatnot. Or you could change the sample rate to, let's say, 30 frames a second and adjust things like this. So bam, 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 bam. We know that's how long it's going to take. Okay? So that's the first part of the animation. But that's not the only thing that animates when you fire. That's just one of many things. So, what do we need to do? We need to, let's see, go to the animator window and you'll be able to turn off looping. Oh, you will. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Window, animation, animator. Yeah. Okay. Um, so it's going to fire once. What we also want it to do is we want that. I don't even know what this is called. You guys probably know guns far better than me. I called it the Beretta top. But I want this thing to slide. Is it called a slide? I don't know what it is called. Um, but we want this thing to slide back and then slide up back into position. And that's when it's going to eject its bullet case. Shoot it. Oh, sorry. For John. This way. Yeah, like that. So how do we do that in the same animation? That's the thing, is I want to do it in the same animation. I believe we could just hit record and it will find the animation. But if you don't know where it is, you could actually drop down. Sorry, not drop down. You can add a property, and you can go to like the Beretta top and go to the transform, and you can add the position. So either one. So in the record, I'm going to snap this thing back like that. So it fires and now it snaps back, and I can adjust the speed at which it snaps back too. It's called the slide. There you go. Bam, 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 bam. Okay. So now you can see that the gun slides whenever the gun slides whenever I fire the weapon. What else can we do? Well, we need to adjust the trigger. So I usually go to the add property. We're going to go to trigger. We're going to go to transform now. I probably should look at this trigger. I'm going to go to its pivot mode. So you can see if you go to center, it's going to center in on the object. If you go to pivot, it's going to go to the current pivot of your gun right here. So if I were to rotate this, that doesn't look very good. That doesn't look very good. I guess I'll just have to do it like that. I'm rotating it on the Z axis. Well, we could always fine tune it later. But is this an automatic pistol? No, it's not. But it's just set to loop right now. Trigger, transform. I'm going to add my rotation into here. And I'm going to hit the record button. And we're going to put the rotate of the trigger right there. And so if I go back and fire, whoa, that wasn't right. Let's see. Why did you move back up? Here we go. Let's just go ahead and copy this keyframe. Paste this at the end. Where did you go? Oh, I have the trigger position up here. That's why. Oops. When I hit the record button, I accidentally recorded the trigger moving, which is my bad. All right. So let's get that back again. I'm going to copy this here, and in the record, I'm just going to adjust the rotation. So, ew, wow, it totally moved back up. Let's see. that is a little weird. Let's do a quick adjustment to this trigger because the trigger position is still messing things up. Let's drop this under, well, actually, if I have the model, the trigger, I should be able to just hit the record button, right? So as this goes to the end, I'm going to take this keyframe, copy it over there, but this is still the position. I want the rotation. So, oh, look, it's adjusting the position and the rotation all at the same time. That's interesting. What to do here? That's not good. Let's see if I just delete the position key. Let's see if it creates a new position. Yes, it did. If I delete that position key. Interesting. What if I just force it? It's gonna be fast. Yeah, that's ugly. Let's make that a really fast animation. You barely even see it. There you go. Smoke and mirrors, folks. Totally hit it. You wouldn't even know it. Unless you actually saw that, then you would know it. All right. Let's take the trigger. I gotta cheat this thing. There we go. Okay, how does that look? Bam. Okay, that looks half decent. You would never notice. Okay. That's good. That's good. That's good. Okay. Save it out. All right. So now we need to eject, or actually, let's get that working with our script. Okay. So in our script, we'll double click gunfire, loading up. Every time it takes some time. Okay, so we know we're going to shoot. Okay, so on my Beretta model, I have my gunfire pistol script. So I don't need to reach out to another script to get the information on how to fire the gun. It's already embedded on the current game object. So all I have to do is before I start, I need to set the animation. So let's see, should I make it a public or private? Private animator, anim. Okay, so I'm reaching out to my animator right now, and I'm going to assign anim equals get component animator. So since I didn't tell it to go do a find, it's going to just grab the animator that's currently on this current component. So it's going to get, or in this current game object. So it's going to get the component named animator, which is this. And then once it gets down here, it's going to, we know we want to shoot the gun. What we're going to do now is going to do anim.play. No, we're going to do a set bool. Okay. So, yes, we're going to do a set bool. So we need to go into the animator track. So right now, because we created that animator. It created this thing, right? And the only animation track that we have is this gunfire. So we want to tell Unity that every time we press the button, we're going to play back a certain animation, and we only want to do it on a certain statement, like a bool or a trigger. Now we have these. Oh, we don't need a layer. We need a parameter. In the parameter, we have four different options: float, int, bool, trigger. So this is like more like, if you go a certain speed, then you go from a walk to a run cycle. Or if you are an int, I don't know what you could do for int. You could probably do like a sequence of animations based on an int. A bool is very common. True, false. If you die, play this animation, and then it's like an any state right here. We're gonna do a trigger, and we're gonna call this fire. So we set up a trigger to go to fire, and I'm gonna create an empty state right here, and this is just an idle. And I'm going to set this as my default state, and I'm going to make a transition to gunfire and then make another transition back to idle. So when I press play, it's not going to play my animation. It's just going to sit here on nothing. In fact, we can even create an animation. Idle. Come on. Work with me today. LE. Idle. And I can even set this into here. There's nothing in this animation. It's just empty. But it's just for something to drop in, to leave here so that there's a parameter. Okay, so I want this to go to gunfire when the trigger fire is true. So let's say idle. I click here. Does it have an exit time? No. What an exit time is like, let's say your animation is 50 seconds long, right? If it has an exit time, that means it only exits the animation at the end. It has to play the entire animation through. If it doesn't have an exit time, if you hit the trigger at like 2 seconds, it immediately starts. So I don't have an exit time. What is my condition? If I hit the condition here, it pulls up my parameters. And since the only parameter I have is fire, it's going to play fire. Then I'm going to go down to my gunfire here. Now, once I get to my gunfire, do I have an exit time on this? Yeah, I have this whole frame. What is this? And it really shouldn't be this long. So let me take a look at my gunfire animation. My gunfire animation. Okay, this is good. So it's really short. You could set this, if you want to have a exit time or no exit time. It's really your choice. I, in the past, have not set it to have an exit time, but I set my gun to have a cooldown. So there's like a true false. You can't fire the gun again unless half a second has passed. So for this instance, we may want to take off exit time. Also, it's 10. I think it's 10 frames. So it's really fast. It's gonna go and cut right over, and then we're back to idle. Okay, so once it's played, what does it do? Do we have a condition for it to have to do to go back to idle? No, we want it to just go right back to idle. If we had a condition, let's say fire again, I'd have to press the fire button again to go back to idle. We don't want that. So it's going to, once we press the fire button, go to gunfire, fire, then it's going to go right back to idle, and it's going to sit there and it's going to wait until we say fire again. All right, so we got that down. So what do I need to do? I need to call my animation dot set trigger, because there's set bool, set float. I'm going to use set trigger, and what's the name of the trigger I want to use? Fire. So once I press the button, it's going to fire the trigger. All right, let's see if this all works or if I just made a fool of myself. It could be both. So I hit the button, bam, bam. Okay, I'm not going back. So let's see. I'm stuck on animator right now. So let's go back to the game. Fired. Okay. So something is keeping me stuck from going back. Let's see. Is it this exit time? Let's double check that. Let's press the play. Bam. Okay, now I'm doing a double shot. So let's go ahead and drop this animator window over here. And let's see this in real time to see how this sucker's animating. So press play. All right, it's sitting, it's waiting. Fire. Oh, that's interesting. So it bounced back and forth. 1, 2. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, why did it do that? So it goes over here. Has an exit time. I'm curious. Let me see if I set this to none. Will I run into any issues? Fire. Still doing a double. What did I do wrong? Let's see. I'm wondering if it's looping back on itself with this exit time. Let's set this exit time and transition time to 0. Let's see. This is interesting. It should be a lot shorter. Let's see. Settings 0. Let's see if this cuts this out. There we go. But now I'm stuck back on idle. This has been my day today. This has so been my day. All right. Let's see. Set anim is to if input key code get key. Let's test key down. Okay, you get stuck at gunfire. Why'd you get stuck at gunfire? There we go. That's better. Just play it once. Do as I say. Okay. I don't know what the heck. Okay, so what did I do? I guess the get key down was the thing. One of the two. Anyway, so now we're working. It's actually functioning. I'm having one of those days, guys. Okay, so we have our gun working. I'm going to get a little closer to our scene view, and if we save this, press play, nothing happens. It just sits on idle and loops. Press fire once, press fire twice. Real simple animation. And there you go. Now, let's talk about adding in that smoke using the particles. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create a particle. So if I go to Effect, Particle System, let me see if I can, yeah, I can drop that under here, smoke. And I'm going to just reset this, and I'll go to my scene view so I can zoom out a little bit. And we're going to want to mess with our particles. So right there. Right now, this thing is emitting in the way of a cone. And I'm going to change and alter this a little bit so it doesn't emit in a cone. I want the... All right, let's try to bring it all back out. Bring it all back. If I go to cone, I could set this from angle 25 to 0. And I could change the radius to 0. So now I'm in this giant beam. Now this is a... we can alter this to maybe move and aim upwards. And set the emission speed down to like 0.2. So now we're going to play this dust burst. Now we don't want this to emit over time. So we'll set this to 0, but in our bursts, we want to shoot out X amount per burst, right? So let's say we want to shoot out 3 or 2. Let's just do 1. We'll get this this sprite sheet in here, and then we'll test this out. So let's get this to 0. So we know it's just going to burst that one shot over and over again. Okay. Then I'm going to go to my wispy smoke, and I want to make sure that the alpha is set to transparency and hit apply. And that's going to create this this sprite sheet, the sprite sheet, flip book, really whatever you want to call it now. I'm going to take this. Here, let's just go ahead and drop this right here. I'm going to drop my wispy smoke into here. So let's go ahead and create this folder, and we'll call this flipbook. And we'll drop this into here. Okay, easy enough. Now I want to go in here and create a new material called Wispy Smoke 01. And this is where my flipbook's going to go. Now, our smoke doesn't work. There's a place right here. Where is it? Texture sheet animations. So this is how we're going to get our animation going. But in our renderer, it won't work with regular materials. You need to actually set this to a particle, and I'm going to use a standard surface. So now this is my particle, and I'm going to drop my wispy smoke onto my particle, and I'm going to set this to, I believe, fade. I may change my mind, just letting you know, but I believe I have to set this to fade. And then inside my smoke, if I drop this in here, I should get like the sprite sheet, which would be perfect. Hey, it worked. All right. Okay, so something went right today. Yay. Okay, so we got our sprite in here. Now, how do we get this to actually play an animation? What we need to do is we go to our texture sheet animation in our particle. We go ahead and turn this on, and we know this particle is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 by 1, 2, or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 by 8. So 8 by 8 is the particle. So now that you see that, you can see that it's playing back in real time. Okay. Um, so this is good. I want to change my background because it's really hard to see this. So I'm going to go to rendering, light settings. I'm going to create a new skybox. Material. I'm going to drop this. I'm going to go to skybox and set this to procedural. And I'll drop this onto here. And I still... Oh, there it is. Okay. That's better. I could see that a lot better. Okay, so we could see how this plays back. It's a little choppy. So let's look at our texture sheet. Let's see. If I set my duration to, let's say, 2. No, 2. Okay. So I set this to 2 and 2. There we go. Now we're playing back at a faster speed. So we just kind of shrunk down the frames per second, so to speak. The next thing we can do is we can go to our color over lifetime and our speed over lifetime. Okay, so color over lifetime, I'm going to turn this on. And what I want to do is not necessarily change the color. I want to change the alpha channel. And the alpha is your transparency. So I want it to pop on and then fade out, so to speak. So I believe the top ones are your alphas. So I'm going to set this at 0 right at the front. And then at the end, I want it to fade out. And, you know, we could adjust this to be however we want. Pretty easily, right? Okay, and then in here, I also want to go to size over lifetime. Now let me just adjust the scale currently. So I'm going to adjust the size. I don't think I can adjust the size like this, can I? Oh, I can. Okay. And I want to adjust the speed to like a 0.1. Okay. Now, you're also going to want to set this to world for your simulation space. Because as you move, if you don't, what will happen is, let's say I were to take my gun position, you see how the particle moves with my gun? That's a little unrealistic. You want the particle to kind of fly off while you're moving. And I think it would have probably been better if I would have done this as a simulation and then move it, but we could test that out real quick. So if I set this to local and just hit play, it should be bursting over and over again. If I move my gun, you see how the smoke follows my gun? Not exactly what we want. But if I go to my smoke and I set this to world and I hit play, now if I go to my scene and I start rotating around, so I can actually kind of start walking through my smoke as I'm firing, which is kind of cool. Okay, so you know we could change this however we want. Let's see. It seems like we would probably want it a little higher, right? Like if we're shooting this, we want it not just to spawn right down here at the bottom. Maybe a little further out, maybe a little further up. And it may be a little too, I guess, obvious, I guess is the best word to describe. So let's go to our color, and we can even adjust our alpha channel to where it's a subtle smoke. We know the bullet's being ejected out of it, right? Okay, so I think we're good with the smoke right there. The next thing we should probably do is let's look at getting the what should we do next? We got the smoke. Maybe we eject the bullet case. That may be the next best thing. So I'm going to go to Filebase. Fortunately, this is still working. And I'm going to go to type in bullet. I got bullets right there. Do I have a casing? Yeah, it would just be this. I think I got a couple more that I've had commissioned. So we'll import that in. And we want to eject our bullets out of here. So I got this bullet holes, and I got a bunch of different assets here. This case is, I think, meant for like a rifle, and that's the rifle bullet. So this isn't gonna look exactly correct. I really do need to get some. I thought I had some bullets. Hold on. Oh, I got rifle ammo. Oh, let me search ammo. Okay. I got ammo boxes. Oh. I think I only have rifle bullets. Oh, that's a bummer. I need to get some other bullets up here. I know I have pistol bullets somewhere. Gun. I swear I loaded it. I can even visualize. Yeah, there it is, right here. Handgun. Why can't I find this? All right, so here's some handgun ammo. Let me download this one. And I will have to set this up to where we just have the handgun case. Because that looks kind of weird to see like a full bullet being shot out. So let me delete this one. But I'll go to my handgun ammo. And there's my bullet right there. So I'm just going to drop this in scene. And we'll make sure when we fire the bullet, it comes out very slowly like that, right? Because that's how you know you could dodge a bullet, is when it comes out that slowly. So I'm going to take this smoke that we created, because it's got this cool thing going on, and I'm going to kind of use a majority of it to simulate the bullet shooting out. But yeah, no, yes, let's do that. No, let's create a new one. Why not? We have time, folks. So we'll create a new particle system, and this is eject bullet casing, right? And in here we have the bullet casing. We want to bring down our emission a little bit because this is a little crazy. Okay, so we want our radius to come down to like 0. We know it's all coming out at one point, which is on our left-hand side, and we're going to shoot it out that way, right? Into space. And the angle, I think, is good. I think we're just really, really fast right now. So let's see if I can do 2. And I want to reduce the amount that's going to be shot. So we're not going to do an emission over time, but we do want to do a burst. And our burst count is only going to be 1, right? We're going to shoot out 1 of these every time we fire the bullet. And it doesn't have to be exact on where it fires out. We want to get close. So all I'm doing is lining up my shell casing to fire out of. Oh, is it the right hand side? Yeah, right hand side. That's what John said. Okay, because I'd be holding it with my right hand. Yeah, that would hurt. Okay, so I'm going to shoot this bullet case out this way in a burst. The next thing I want to do is I want to add some gravity. So we're going to add a gravity modifier. So it shoots out and kind of does this plop, drop. Now, to get your what is it? Let's see, renderer. How did I do this? I have to go back like 2 years. So give me a second. To get this coming out, we actually have to add in the mesh. Where was the mesh? Mesh. Velocity. No. Collision triggers. So custom data. It wasn't custom data. It was mesh. That's what it was. Okay. So I need, instead of rendering out a cube, I need to put in my handgun bullet mesh and drop that into here. Okay. So now I got my mesh shooting out, but my material is set to the default. So I believe I can drop my material, and now I'm shooting my bullet out. Okay, let's double check this. Yep, that's a bullet. Okay, so I'm shooting that out. Oh boy, man. Sorry, it's been a long time. Now I'm going to where was the adjusting the road? Can I just adjust the rotation? I don't want to do that. Where did I adjust the rotation? Let's see. Nope. There was a way to facing, is that what it is? I'm just trying to, there's a, oh, is that it right there? Just trying to exactly remember how to rotate the bullet when it comes out. Use start rotation, is that what it is? 3D start rotation, okay. Let's see. Yeah, I think you're right. There we go. So, plop. We should probably add a couple more right now. So let's do this. Let's just keep shooting them out right now. I'll set this to 0 so we could just make sure that these are all coming out correctly. Plop, 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 plop. And okay, so that's the start rotation. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we can also change the rotation over lifetime. So we can click this and let's see. Can we just add some? Looks like the X is not going to do a whole lot. Okay, so this is kind of cool because now we can rotate the Z, but everything is falling at the same direction. Okay, so how do we fix this? There's this little drop down right here. And you can put this between like two constants. So I could do like a negative 180 and 180. So now we can get that going, right? Pop, 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 pop. Okay, and then over here we can adjust. I want to adjust the size of this. It's 3D start size. Can we do like a 0.7? These bullets look a little big. Pop, 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 pop. Okay. And we could change up the bullet casing shape of a mission. Maybe the angle's a little too wide. And maybe the speed is a little too fast. So, now we'll get something a little closer, right? So let's go to this perspective real quick. Just going to hit save. And I'm just going to press play and let the, oh my goodness, what did I just do? No, I want you to go to my game view. Game view. Oh my gosh, camera, work with me here. The heck is this? Let me turn on my gizmo. Do I have two cameras in here? What the hell? Camera. Oh, the handgun bullet has a camera in here. Hey, get out of here. What are you doing? Okay. Okay, so now we're getting kind of something. And if I fire, we could see, we're starting to get something here. It's not going to be the greatest piece of art, but I do think we're getting some cool stuff going on here. We do need to add a light, and we can even add the light as an animation. So in my model, I go to light, and I'll create, we want a point light. We don't want a light that is like a spotlight, because we want the light to kind of flash back on you. And also give you the option to cast shadows if you want, or enable or disable it. So hit a point light, and we have our point light right here. And with this point light, I don't know the range at which you want, if you want this to go very far or not. That's totally your call or not. I just know that the intensity needs to be pretty high, so let's do 25, and you should be able to adjust this, but what we want it to do is every time you fire, really bright, and then it disappears. That way, if we're in like a dark hallway, pop, 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 you got that cool looking thing going on. And we can even set this to, kind of a yellowish tint, right? So it's not pure white that we're bouncing. You can decide if you want shadows. If you do shadows, I would suggest doing a hard shadow versus a soft shadow. Hard shadows are a lot easier on your game. But it's totally up to you and what you want to do. It's your game. I'm just here to judge it. So let's see. I'll just do 10 so it's not so blowish out. And I'm going to drop this under my model. And I'm going to do a, let's call this light, well, gun lighting, gun light. Let's just call it gun light. I don't care. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this into our animation for gunfire. So in our properties, now gun light is in here. So is active. is probably an interesting one to do, because we could set if the gun light is actually active or not. So, do we need to animate a gun light? Not really. But after it plays, it should set itself to unactive. So let's go ahead and set this to active and then not active. And we'll keep this active here and we'll set this to not active. So if I play it back, bam, 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 you can kind of see that we are creating that light effect as well. Okay. So let's go ahead and save this. And the next thing I'm going to do is get some coffee because I am seriously deprived of coffee and caffeine right now. So give me 2 seconds. I'm going to play a quick ad and then I will be back in 2 minutes. All right. Introducing the GameDevHQ Pro Membership, a brand new subscription-based service aimed at helping you succeed as a game developer. This service gives you access to powerful tools, amazing assets, and easy-to-follow certifications to make you become a legit Unity 3D game developer and software engineer. Get instant access to over 100 hours of authorized training available through our built-in custom streaming platform. Earn your game developer certification and software engineer certifications by developing games for 2D, 2.5D, 3D, mobile, and even AR. The GameDevHQ Pro membership also provides the easiest, most powerful, and enjoyable tool to give you the freedom to create. Introducing Filebase, an amazing tool built for Unity 3D that gives you access to thousands of video game assets developed by our in-house team of artists, from weapons, tools, props, vegetation, vehicles, systems, and even entire levels. You'll see how incredibly easy and enjoyable game development can be. Your membership's value will continue to grow through the year as new assets are added on a weekly basis and can even be requested. We have made it our goal to help you not only enter the world of game development, but successfully build and publish your game. The Pro membership also includes a growing library of custom-built challenges and a vault filled with live Pro Workshop content. This GameDevHQ Pro membership provides you a powerful set of tools and training that makes learning game development easier than ever before. Log on to GameDevHQ.com right now to learn how the GameDevHQ Pro membership can become your game development solution. Okay, thank you. I needed that coffee. Hey, welcome everybody back again. Oh boy. So if you're just tuning in, we know that the website has some issues. This came out of the blue yesterday. We have no idea why it's happening, why it's occurring, but we all, I think, can agree that it's highly annoying. Nobody likes it, and we're hoping that we can at least get it figured out sooner than later. But just kind of bear with us. We have a new solution coming up that's going to really alter certain parts of GDHQ, and it's definitely going to do it for the better. So hopefully we'll be able to roll that out in the next month or two. And you'll probably, if you are pro members, you're going to start receiving emails. And as you are receiving those emails, just be aware that you know, we definitely are looking out for you. We're trying to keep you around, and we're trying to show you the best and coolest stuff that we can do. Um, so you know, just kind of bear with us for right now during that. What are we doing today? If you're just tuning in, we are making gun animations, and so if I just press the play button right here, we're basically putting this whole thing together. We need a muzzle flash, um, and we need a muzzle flash. We need, what else do we need? Um, the two muzzle flashes, one that goes out and one that you see as you're looking at it. And then we need audio as well. And then we kind of need to sync it all together into one giant animation. And I may need your help for that because, oh man, my memory is very foggy when it comes to all this. So actually, I could delete this handgun bullet. We don't even need that. So muzzle flash. Let's go look for a muzzle flash. So, muzzle flash. How crazy do we make this? It's really kind of a choice. Now, you guys can go out and buy a like a muzzle flash stock footage like this, or you know, you can go ahead and build one in art. I wouldn't necessarily say why to use just like a particle system that is a stock particle. I don't think that's a very good idea. Um, Simply because it's going to, what's the best way to say this? It's not going to look very good. I guess this is the best way. We want to use a couple different muzzle flashes. There's a couple good ones out there. There's this stock vector one, which looks pretty good. Um, you know, there's some pretty good alternatives, but you notice with the muzzle flash also, you get that smoke poof. In the past, I've used Action Essentials. So if you go to videocopilot.net, um, Action Essentials is products. Oh, right here. I mean, it's not cheap. It's what is it? $250. But you know, you were able to get like actual bullets keyed in that you could use. Um, but there are other cheaper alternatives out there. We could do look on YouTube. Let's see if we could do something illegal here. Um, uh, Muzzle flash. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna get, unless that's what this is. Did Home Dude probably steal this? I could be able to tell you if he did. Alright. The muzzle flash pack at 1080. I think he may have. I hope not. Because I notice a lot of these effects right here are from Video Copilot. Let's see. Do we download this? I feel almost evil for doing this. I hope he made this himself, but I hope he didn't just like steal it. Because that wouldn't be very cool. But that's something we could do. Let's look at muzzle flash sprite sheet. Let's see if we could find something on here. In images. Okay. Let's see. This is kind of interesting. There you go. That's some interesting ones right there. If you do just do the flash, though, you're going to lose the smoke, which is kind of a bummer. Like usually when you do like see like a real gun animation that fires, it does this flash and then it fades out and then there's like this wisp that comes behind it. Which is when you're like, man, that's when I need to invest in something a little more professional. Because I mean, realistically, you're gonna get far better looking stuff. I think ooh, that's not a good score. Um, let's see if we can find something. If not, then maybe we could put something together. Muzzle flash animation or sequence. Let's see if there's a muzzle flash sequence we could see. And I'm primarily doing this because I know a lot of you guys do not have video editing software. Um, a lot of you don't have the ability to key footage and do things like that, export it out as image sequences. So I'm trying to find like the kind of the simplest way to do this muzzle flash and still empower you to be able to make your own. I guess that's the best way I could describe it. I don't want to be one of those guys like, well, you just got to spend $10,000 and buy all this other stuff and you'll be good. That's kind of lame. I mean, it could be lame, but I don't want to be. Let's see. I'm not seeing a lot of good muzzle flash options. We got Adobe stock. Let's see. Oh, I will check one more site. A site that I go to a lot is freepick.com. This is a great site to go to. Not seeing. Yeah, freepick.com. You don't have to pay for anything. I signed up for a membership for it because it's like, I think it's like $8 a month or something like that to get unlimited access to all these without restrictions. But you can still download them. But then you can't you can't do anything as far as posting it and making it commercial. Let's see. You see something on the asset store that's free. Well, let's do free. I'll have to create some muzzle flashes on GDHQ. Unless I already did. I don't even remember. Let's see. War effects. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Let's see how these look. Generic explosions. Good. Kind of stylized. These are definitely not like the realistic kind that you're looking for. But so the idea would be is this. And I think you could kind of see it in this image. You're going to have two particles. You're going to have one where you see it from this first person perspective. And you're going to have another where you see it from the angled perspective. And those have two very different shapes. Oh, John, which link did you put in here? I could put it in the chat. I think there's like this weird like thing as far as like potentially preventing spam of any sort. Let me just download this, and then I'll import. Let's just review these, see if they're any good. Excuse me. Must be. Man, allergies. Hello. Okay. Oh my gosh, how much stuff. All right. JMO assets. War effects. Holy crap, man. He's got a spawn system in here? Are you kidding? Shaders, scripts, mobile, mesh, effects, demo. Excuse me. All right, muzzle flashes. For goodness sakes. All right, let's get down here. Game. All right, let's go to our scene. Corona, possibly. All right, so let's take a look at some of these. Nice. Nice. Let's take a look at that one. That's cool. There you go. That's neat. I don't think these are very realistic, but you know, they come in ready to go. Let's see. No, I'm not going to take a test. I'm just going to give it to everybody I know. Okay, so we added that in. That's going to give me some serious some serious epilepsy real quick. Emission. So if I set this over to 0. Uh-oh. This is what I was afraid of. Oh, they're all connected together. Oh, no. Oh, man. This is going to be a pain in the butt. I could see. Darn it. So if I press play. And this isn't taking control. I think it's inherit. Oh, thank you, Adam. It's going good, guys. Hey, Kanner, it's going good. We're just testing out muzzle flashes. This is why I'm so hesitant about using other people's stuff. Is I gotta go in and see how they worked all their stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, the emissions. Let's see. Isn't there a way to where you can control other particles underneath through one major particle. I don't remember. I am so lost in that area. But oh my goodness, it's a lot of stuff right here. Okay. I'm just going to take a look. Glow we can keep. Light we don't need. Plane 1, I don't. Plane 2, I don't even see. Plane 3, plane 4, plane sparks. Yeah, file-based stuff is seizure free. Yes, it is. I don't know, guys. I don't know about this guy's particle system. I don't know how excited I am about this one. I mean, not to be judgmental or anything like that. Yeah, I think I may need to break his prefab in pieces. Okay. Well, let's just do that then. Let's see. Yeah. I'm curious, where are his textures? Fire, fire, explosions, shaders, mesh, desktop. That's where your textures are. Okay. Muzzle flashes. Okay. There we go. All right. Okay, I am just going to. Here's what I'm going to do. Because let's go ahead and grab. There's a couple things I like that he's doing, and I want to see how he's building it. So he's rendering it out, and then he's got the simulation speed, the start speed, the life, the frame, blah 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 blah, which is all good. What could we do that could make this work for us? Well, let's see. We could, in our model, create a effect, a particle system. And in here, we're going to call this muzzle flash side. We're going to have two of them, muzzle flash side, muzzle flash on the top, right? And I'm going to do the shape, which is going to be angle 0, radius 0, and my speed I'm going to set to 0. And I'm going to have this emit as a burst, right? And you're just going to burst 1 for right now. And we're going to go to our top view. And we'll move this over into position from the side and over on this side right here. Okay. And then I'm going to want to change this particle into this muzzle flash, right? So I think I'm just going to take this. I'm going to duplicate this folder right here, because I think that's the thing that I want the most out of this. And I'm just going to shrink all this up. Okay, so I want this muzzle flash. And then I want to create a material. I'm going to call this muzzle flash side. And in this material, we're going to go to particles and set this to standard unlit. We want this to fade. And I want to drop in, let's say, this particle right here. And I'll set this to additive, right? And we can even go to this color. Is it color difference? Come on. Well, I believe it's additive. I'll see soon enough. I'll set it to two-sided, soft particle, and of course this is going to have an emission, and this emission is going to have this yellowish type of thing going on. Actually, if I set this to color, there we go. And this emission will drop this onto here. Well, is that going to work? No. There we go. And we'll play with that right there. We're just thinking out loud, folks. That's what I'm doing. In here, I'm going to go to my renderer, and I'm going to drop in my muzzle flash side. And there's the side of my muzzle flash. Now you notice how, as I'm rotating, it's adjusting. That's because I don't have my renderer set to world view. Now that I got it set to world view, it is in the correct angle. So let's see. I should be able to flip that like that. Okay. Now, what I could do is if I were to emit, let's say, 5 of these at one time, and I'll do, but I do my start rotations at a random range. Random between two constants of 0 and 360. I should create like a sphere. And that start rotation was off. But it is working. So let's do 1 and 1. Because I want to see these quicker. Let's see. That start rotation is rotating on the wrong axis. So let's take a look at this start rotation. Let's clear this. Constant 0 start rotation between two constants. And let's see, is this 10? Nope, I don't want that one. 10. Nope, don't want that one. It's this one. So this and 360. Okay, so this is good because you see it's creating that in essence. So what it does is it generates every time you play it, and I'll turn off this. Let me turn off selection outline. Every time you play, it plays a different type of burst, and it looks different every single time. Now, the only time that it's not going to look good is when you're looking at it from this perspective or from this perspective, because you could actually see it does look good on the side, all around, everything like that. And it just kind of looks crazy because it's the PNG we're using. But, what we could do is we could set up a secondary muzzle flash that does the same thing, but from a first-person perspective. So I'll duplicate this in muzzle flash front. And inside the muzzle flash front, I want to duplicate this and we'll call this texture muzzle flash front. And then we'll go and we'll add, you know, this so it's different. And in the front one, I scroll down to where this muzzle flash is, and I'm just going to replace the material. So muzzle flash front now goes here, and that's replaced. And we could see this on the side, so I'm just going to hide the one that's on the side. And I'm going to stop the 3D rotation. Or, I'm sorry. Stop the 3D rotation right there. And it looks like I can't rotate unless I am going to do. Let's see. Is it the Y? Yeah, it's the Y. So I don't, in this emission, need to do like 5. I just need to do 1, and then I need to rotate at an exact point. So I'm going to do a constant, set this to 90 degrees, and set this to the front of my gun. So if I go to this perspective and press play, you can kind of see how this looks from all sides, right? And, you know, we can go in and add some more if we want to kind of hide this thing that's going on. But yeah, I mean, we could see how we could easily make something pretty cool out of this muzzle flash. Boom. Okay. Man. All right. So I'm going to hide this one right now. And I want to look at this muzzle flash, and I want this to go really fast. So let's see. Is it duration is like 0.1? Can I do that? Yeah. So we want it pow, pow. Just kind of like that. There we go. So, you know, that's a pretty quick way to get a muzzle flash in your game. And then once you get that down, let's go over and add up the things we have. Okay, so we have the smoke, the bullet casing, the light from the gun, the trigger, the animations, all that other stuff. I don't think we're missing anything. I think what we need to do now is get each of these animations to play on a burst. And this is where I need to go back to YouTube, because I have completely forgotten how to do that. Unity, animation, play once. It's some simple animation.play one shot, I believe is what it is. Okay, so what do they say about game developers? They're expert Googlers. You know, that's 100% true. Where did you go? Where's my script? Where's my script? Oh, I probably moved things around again. Let's make my gun. There we go. May take a second. Okay. Now I'm going to do some horrible game development stuff here. I'll probably use a lot of publics. In game development, you're not supposed to use a lot of publics unless it's a class that or a variable that you want to be adjusted by another variable. Otherwise, you always want to keep it private. We could do private. Particle system, and then we'll do like the first one, which is smoke. And I believe we could do a serialized field. So if I save that, in here, my gun should have a smoke. So let me just copy this. And then I'll do one for bullet casing. Right? Oops. And then I'll do another one for muzzle flash side. And then I'll do another one for muzzle flash front. Okay, so I'll have all that. I don't think I have any other particles associated with this thing. So we're running one thing, and it's going to play one animation, and that's it. Okay, so what I like to do is this. I can go down here and do a void public void fire gun particles. All right. Debug.log fired gun particles. All right. So how do I enable this to actually work? How do I get this thing to actually fire gun particles? In my animation timeline, I can drop an event by clicking this little doodad right here. And then in here, I could choose fire gun particles because my event was set to public, right? This is how you do like footsteps. So I press save, and I'm just going to go here, and I want to make sure that I fired my gun particles, right? Okay, so I'm going to go to my smoke, and I'm going to turn off, what is it, on awake, play on awake. So I want to go to all these, and I want to turn off play on awake. Well, I may want to turn it on. Let me think about this. I'm actually just going to turn off the other ones right now. Let's turn off a bunch of these so we don't get distracted. And this one I'll be able to see. And I'll turn off play on awake. Okay. So then in here, this is when I want to be able to actually play these particles. So I need to connect these particles to my gun. So in my model, I'm going to attach my smoke. I'm going to attach my bullet casing. I want to attach my muzzle flash side and my muzzle flash front. All right. So now all four of those are all connected. I don't know if I'm going to get a null error when I press play because these are set to act. I shouldn't get a null error. Nope, that still works. Okay. Okay, so that's all clean. Now I need this to play each one of these. So I believe it's, now that I got those connected in serialize, if I do muzzle flash front dot play, let's see if this works. There you go. Oh, but now it's playing on a loop. So turn off looping, and let's give that another whirl. Pretty easy. Okay, so let's go grab the other ones and make those work for us as well. So smoke dot play bullet casing dot play, and what is this, muzzle flash side dot play. And we'll go ahead and we'll turn off looping for all of these. Turn off looping, turn off play on awake, looping, play on awake, looping, play on awake. Press save. Oh, let me turn off the gun light at first. It will enable and disable it. Boom. Okay. We're almost there. Let's test this out a little more. Let's see. I'm gonna go to my main camera. Let's move this to the side. I'm shooting out looks like 3 bullets. So let me go to my bullet casing and emission rate over time. Oh, that's why. 0. I only want to shoot out 1. Okay. Bam. 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 Okay. Let's see. Okay, so I think that kind of works. This is probably the extent of my sophistication as it comes to scripting. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do have one other trick that we could do to make this a little bit more interesting. Is we got the particles and the smoke, but we also need to add in the audio, right? Because right now it's just it looks loud, but it's not very loud at all. So we need to get an audio track. Now, some of you guys may have access to game audio, and tell me. I don't think you could put like .com. So if you write in like free audio, put a space and then put a .net or spell out .net or .com. Maybe we could share some of these things together. But there's a lot of free audio game sites out there that you could pull audio from. One of the things I actually noticed was YouTube. YouTube has audio that you could download. I was looking at, I think, a Big Gun Shots. And let me make sure on OBS, since we're doing this now, we should turn on the audio. Let me see if you guys can hear this. Yeah, I think you can. Right. You guys could hear that. And they have a bunch of them on here, but what I'm really excited about is browse and download free sound effects for your project. So, freesounds.org. Let's check that one out. Freesounds.org. Yep. Let's see. Free sound effects. That's searching ads. I don't want to search ads. Sound effects, stock audio. Oh, I think this is let's see. Yeah, I don't know if that one is gonna really work for us, but there may be a couple others that you guys know. But yes, real easy to find this audio. So I'm gonna grab the Big Gun Shots Close, and you can get that just by going to do a search, YouTube free audio or free music. I don't know, but if you hit that, you're going to go to the audio library, YouTube audio library, and there's the music that you can listen to, but then there's also the sound effects tab, and there's so many in here, like an airplane in flight. Something that may be hard to get, or an alien beam. Interesting, kind of a transporter-ish type of thing. But if we just type in gun, Then we have a whole bunch gun reloads, 50 caliber. There was a machine gun on here. Um, I didn't know what handgun dry means, but I guess that means when you're empty. It's like a clicking sound. Um, Magazine throw. I don't even. Hmm. Oh, I guess he's like throwing the magazine. Trigger pull. Laser gun. Ooh, there you go. That's fun, right? Freesound.org. Let's take a look at that. There you go. So, gun. Yeah, that's a nice, interesting gunshot. Cool. Yeah. So freesound.org is a good one to check out as well. So Unity isn't very good at audio editing. It's not very good at all. So you may need to use an audio editing program or a video editing program that you already have and just export out the MP3. In my case, I use Adobe Audition. It comes with my Adobe Suite, and I remember taking a class on this a long time ago. And when I was talking to the instructor told me that this was back in the day. I want to say 2002, 2003, maybe, yeah, or 2004. That was when Final Cut was still a thing, Apple's Final Cut. And she introduced me to Adobe Audition, and she said, Final Cut and their audio program. I forget what the name of their audio program, but it was incredible. Audition was really good at doing like six things, but that's really the six things you always need in audio. So that's how she justified. Um, let's see, IMS or Audacity are free and are good at sound editing. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, if you could use a free one, use a free one. I'm gonna go grab my wispy or not my big shot, my big gun close, and then I'm gonna go ahead and create a new multi-track session. Not bug gun. And I could drop my audio into here, which will play back, and you can see my sound meters bouncing. Okay, so quick explanation of sound meters, because I know some of you guys have never seen this or don't understand what these are for. Okay, all right, right here. Oh, I can't save it. Okay, if you go past -6 and you get into this range and you start to hit the 0, you're going to get audio clipping, which is, when someone gets really close to the microphone and it starts burning up. That's really bad. LMMS or Audacity. Okay. I'll actually check those two in about 2 seconds once I show this, because I think other people want to know. You don't want to go into this range. If you're going to do background music, I would say -18 to -15 is a good realm. You may even want to go lower. If you're going to do voiceover, -6 is like the sweet spot. That's where you want your audio peaks to really hit. And that's just what they do in broadcast. So I definitely want to make sure that when I build this audio, I get it to a point where it doesn't cut into my audio heights and I start hitting this red, because when you start hitting the red, you're bad. It's bad. It's going to cause problems later on, because then you have to do like sound balancing and everything. It's awful. Now, what I like about this, of course, is that we can actually stick a couple audio soundtracks together. So, we could do something like that. And if it's too loud, I could take this audio and drop this back a little bit. And see, it stays right around that -6. It's loud, but it doesn't cause a huge issue where it's going into the red. It barely dips into it, and we can do a little more adjustment as well. Let's see. So let's see. LMMS dot LMMS. So this is LMMS.io is one of the looks like one of the projects that John recommended, and I guess you can maybe download from it. How to use LMMS. That's the sharing platform, so I'm sure there's like a download for this. Produce music on your computer. It covers melodies and beats. Ah, very cool. So soundforge.net. Looks like you could download something there to do the audio tracks for your game. And do audio sound effects, which is kind of what we're doing. And then there's Audacity. All right, let me shut this window since this helicopter keeps circling my house. I mean, I swear, guys, it's just tons and tons of opium. It's no big deal. So then there's an Audacity, and it looks like you could use this. Oh, this is great. Yeah, this is all you need right here. Free, open source, cross-platform audio software. You could build tracks in there as well. Okay, so I'm going to go with this right now. I could do some more sound effects. I know there's like an entire effects rack that I can add. And I could adjust these as an explosion. Let's do sound effects from explosion. Oh, that makes it sound like it's from outside. In a large room. Yeah, I don't like the sound of that. But that'll be close enough. I'm going to do a file, export, and in mine, I'm going to do a multi-track mixdown, which is going to take all the tracks, and I'm going to export the entire session. I'm going to do a big gun mixdown, and I'll just go ahead and drop this into my desktop. Right? I'll save it there, and I'll hit export, and it should be good. So I'm going to go back to my downloads on my desktop, and I should have a big gun somewhere. Big gun mixdown. Where did you go? Ah, there you go. All right, so I can grab this and drop this into Unity. And now, if I play this, right, and I don't have a fade out. I probably should have put a fade out at the end, so it's going to be kind of obvious. Okay, so how do we get this gun to play audio as well? And how do we get this gun to play audio as well and play it well? Like, if we hear the same audio noise over and over again, it's going to become readily obvious, and it's not going to be very neat. So I'm going to just create a new folder, audio. I'm going to drop my big gun mixdown into here. And in here, I'm going to create add a component, and I want to create an audio source. All right, so it's going to make this gun an audio source, and There's a whole bunch of like 3D Doppler settings, stereo pitch. Are you going to be 2D or 3D? We're going to be 2D, which basically means that this audio is only going to emit. It's going to emit everywhere in stereo. It's not going to emit from a particular location because we know it's in front of our gun. We just want to adjust it like that. All right. So now that I got this in here, what I could do is I could create a script and tell my audio source what audio clip I want to play. And then on top of that, tell my audio source a range of pitches that I would like it to play at. Okay. And fortunately for me, I already have a script. So I need to pull back the memory a little bit. So I'm going to serialize a field. Private audio clip. And we're going to call this gunshot audio clip. Because I'm going to be really particular about this. Okay. So in my script now, I have a gunshot audio clip. I'm going to go ahead and grab that audio and drop that into scene. Once that's there, now when I press the play button, I want to play the audio. But I want to, and here's what we want to do. I want to adjust this pitch every time before I play it. Okay? So check this out. I'm going to create a serialized field, private audio source. I'm going to find my audio source first. So where's my audio source? Well, my audio source is right here. So I'm going to drop this up into here. So now every time I press the button, this script knows what the audio clip is, and it knows the audio source. So when I fire, and I can actually create a new gun fire audio, right? I can create a brand new function. And I will put this function inside my fire gun particles. Okay. In here, what I want to do is I want to go to my audio source. Dot random range. What is that? Equals. Audio source dot pitch. I want to get my audio source dot pitch. And I'm going to make this a random range. And right now it's currently sitting at 1. So I want the random range to be, and I'll go extreme so you guys can hear it, 0.5F and 1.5F. It's going to sound horrible, but I want to be able to hear it. Once that's done, then I'm going to go gunshot clip dot play. Play audio clip dot, what is it? Is it audio source dot play? Okay, yeah, play one shot. And then I also want to make sure I assign let's see, what is audio source dot play one shot. There it is. And we need to assign the audio clip, which is the gunshot audio clip. Okay, all right. So this should work if we call this function. So we need to call this function, which is gunfire audio. So let's see if this all works. If not, I made a fool out of myself, but I believe it should work. You see, you hear the audio switching all the time? So these are a little extreme as far as audio goes. But if you do like a 0.9 and a 1.1, and you just save that, it won't be nearly as extreme. So I'm going to go ahead and press play. And there we go. All right. So that's how we can get some pretty cool gun sound effects. Now, I guess my main goal would be I'm going to get this down. I want to do a machine gun next, and I want to do a missile launcher after that. And once I get those three, what we're going to try to do is get a plugin built specifically for our, third person, first person controller, whatever, using this animation system and this concept, so you guys don't have to do what I just spent 2 hours doing every single time. Now all you have to do is just go onto Filebase, download it in, and you're set to roll. So hopefully, this is exciting and this works for you, and you're able to do some pretty neat stuff here. Let's see. I think that's probably where I'm going to cap this right now, because I feel like, even though it's not the greatest animation in the world, and I'd like to get possibly some, yeah, I mean, I'd like to get some possibly different sprite sheets for our muzzle flash, because it's not that sexy. I'll probably build a couple for let's see. I'll probably put some more muzzle flashes on this, something better. But yeah, I mean, uh, yeah, I changed that message real quick. Sorry. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think that pretty much nails what we're gonna do. And I also think that, I'll get something like this up on Filebase, so you guys don't have to do this over and over again. And then, as far as like a reload system mechanic, it's kind of the same concept. But I think we'd probably need a character full blown to actually pull that out. But you can see how you can make a gunshot system occur in your game. Any questions, guys? Everyone's been kind of quiet lately, which means one of two things. Either this has been amazing and it's like life altering, or everyone's like tuned out and doing their own thing. I can't tell. But yeah, I mean, let's see, from a first person perspective, if I were to have the gun down on the lower level, and yeah, I think we could do something more with maybe like a muzzle flash spark right at the front. I'd probably end up doing that just with the texture. In fact, I'm curious if I could just do that now. If I go to the muzzle flashes, I'm using this one. Let's go show an explorer. Let's get crazy here, folks. Targa. Open this up. And then in here, I'm going to get a paintbrush. And let's see if we can get some sort of spark going. I don't see one. Let me do a. Where's a spark? Oh. Let's see. There we go. Let's go ahead and copy this image. And I'll paste this in. I'll adjust the scale. Oh. There we go. I'll adjust image, adjust hue saturation. And then we'll set this to add. Like that. And then I'll do a save as. I believe these are saved as a TGA. So I'll save and overwrite. Yes. And then we will go back to Unity and this will update. And let's see if that looks better. Little intense. Yeah, no, John, we could totally loop this for an automatic weapon firing system. Yeah, let's see. Let me adjust this flash real quick because it's a little heavy. Oh, Targa. Let's make sure this loads up the new one, which is there. Let's go to this perspective. Dang, that's some serious muzzle flash right there. This perspective. So, yeah, I mean, and if we want to do more with it, we can. How do we do a looping? How can you for an automatic fire system? Yeah. Okay. Oh boy, you're gonna test the limits of my scripting here. Right now, we have this going to get key down, and then we are going to animate a set trigger fire, right? The trigger only shoots once, but a bull can shoot as many times as we want, right? So we don't have to mess with the animation. What we can mess with is the animation trigger. And let's say set this to bool. And we say if input key down is true, set the bool of automatic fire to true. Then it would have to play back on a consistent basis the animation over and over and over again. And then we'd have to create some sort of cooldown because we don't want it to go as fast as the frame rate would allow us. We would actually just say, all right, we want it to play back every quarter of a second. If it's down again, press play. That probably would be the best way I could think of doing this. So if there was, let's say, in the animator, instead of doing a fire, we would say we would have a bool, right? And instead of saying I want to go on idle, I want my condition to be automatic fire, right? And then over here, we would create, instead of set fire, we would do dot set bool fire true. So if the set bool fire is true, then what are we going to do? Well, then we want to fire our gun. And then I think we may have to go into, yeah, we may have to actually rebuild a lot of this and pull this out of just the public void for the one fire. No, actually, I don't think we need to, because this is all connected to that event. So let's see. Would this even work right now? Let's test this out. Probably going to break my gun, but that's okay. So if I set this to automatic fire, and then what I need to do is set another. So if input dot get key down, or get key up, key code dot mouse 0, then I want to set my anim dot set bool fire back to false, right? So we got these two that tell us if it's true or if it's not. Okay. So let's see. If we press play, hopefully it's not auto firing. Okay, it's not. Okay. Now let's take a look at the animator. Actually, let me move the animator over. All right, press play. Let's see what this animator's doing. Okay. Oh, because I told the left mouse button to do I needed it to do automatic fire. So I'm going to change my script from fire to automatic fire. All right, so let's see if that works now. So that's just me holding the mouse down. And then we can go in, and I believe this gunfire, let me double check, is set to have an exit time. If I turn off exit time, let's see what it does. It should go crazy, actually. Oh, it just plays once. Look at that. It has an exit time. I'm curious if these buttons would actually matter. Or does this matter? Let's set this to 2. There you go. There's your automatic gun right there. Wow. I can't believe that actually worked. I would have to say that's the first time in scripting ever that I've said do something and it actually worked. Okay. Well, there you go. Any other questions, guys? So what I may end up doing is the next stream, I'm going to try to get these other weapons set up to be automatic fire, kind of stuff like that. and kind of go from there. So again, John's question was, how do we set this from single fire to automatic? We just had to change the system, and I'm sure some of you have already considered, all right, well, is there a way that I could press, let's say, the W button and switch between burst and automatic fire, which would then be like, if this is set to burst, do this. If this is set to that, do that. And instead of having just one animator, you'd have two animators. You'd have one that's like gunfire single and one that's gunfire auto, and this would have a different speed, and the idle would go to one or the other. So, and you can actually put multiple in here if you didn't know. So you could set, and a fire will go to this one, and the auto will go to this one. So, kind of cool, kind of really neat. You could really expand this and have a lot of fun with this, and build quite an interesting gun firing mechanism experience. Any other questions, folks? Because I think we are about that point. I hope you walked away with something pretty interesting and entertaining. I hope you learned something. I think the next one hopefully we'll get Filebase and the website sorted out, and then we will focus more in on getting these automatic weapons. And I'd really like to get a missile launcher working, where it's like shooting the smoke out the back, and you see the rocket, and it shoots out either straight or swirls out or whatnot. It'd be pretty cool to do. So we'll kind of go from there. Otherwise, guys, I hope this was an entertaining one. I hope you learned something. And I'm just going to hang out for a second, and then, we can call it a day. All right, Rhett, enjoyed watching the lesson, go over some of the things. Good. Go do it, man. And also remember, there was those ways to create a audio using Audacity. That looked like a really good one. Thank you for that, John. And also sound effects. There was a free sound, or where is that? Freeaudio.org or something like that. I'd have to scroll through the chat to find that. And yeah, I mean, oh yeah, the Gatling guns. Gatling guns should be a lot of fun to get going. And again, what we're going to try to do is get this script down on and get these gun assets down to where in Filebase you don't have to do what we just did. It's already set up to do. You just hold the left mouse button and or does whatever it needs to do. And then we'll just kind of go from there. All right, folks, have a great one. I'm Outie. Thank you for tuning in, and I will catch you sometime next week. So be good. Introducing the GameDevHQ Pro Membership, a brand new subscription-based service aimed at helping you succeed as a game developer. This service gives you access to powerful tools, amazing assets, and easy-to-follow certifications to make you become a legit Unity 3D game developer and software engineer. Get instant access to over 100 hours of authorized training available through our built-in custom streaming platform. Earn your game developer certification and software engineer certifications by developing games for 2D, 2.5D, 3D, mobile, and even AR. The GameDevHQ Pro membership also provides the easiest, most powerful, and enjoyable tool to give you the freedom to create. Introducing Filebase, an amazing tool built for Unity 3D. that gives you access to thousands of video game assets developed by our in-house team of artists, from weapons, tools, props, vegetation, vehicles, systems, and even entire levels. You'll see how incredibly easy and enjoyable game development can be. Your membership's value will continue to grow through the year as new assets are added on a weekly basis and can even be requested. We have made it our goal to help you not only enter the world of game development, but successfully build and publish your game. The Pro membership also includes a growing library of custom-built challenges and a vault filled with live Pro Workshop content. This GameDevHQ Pro membership provides you a powerful set of tools and training that makes learning game development easier than ever before. Log on to GameDevHQ.com right now to learn how the GameDevHQ Pro membership can become your game development solution.